We're back.
What's up, everybody? I'm Manny Gomez, writer editor at Call to the Pen. This here is CT, my fellow Red Sox fan,
hmm
aka LA, aka Janchi El Grupo Trueno. Dime a ver.
What's up? What's up? What's up? We're back. We're finally back, guys. Just want to say something real quick. Streaming, streaming this content with video and audio onto YouTube is harder than it seems. So when I say that you should subscribe and support and throw us a nice review along this way, I mean it. Cause this
We
shit
earn,
is
we're earning this shit.
it's not easy. We just spent longer than we're gonna spend recording. I just spent with Manny. He was here with me the whole time in
Hey
spirit.
guys.
We spent longer trying to set this up than we have ever in the past, and we're not gonna even record for this long. So yeah, that's all I
No,
have to
I
say.
mean the only things really going on are the All Star game just happened this past weekend in the NBA, and this whole Astro sign stealing scandal is fucking out of control. Other than that, I can't think of anything else we could talk about. I haven't been following the XFL. I don't watch hockey.
Mm.
Yeah, so here's what's on the top of my mind right now. I'm reading some quotes from Justin Turner, and this one has me just woo,
Let's
as I
start.
was saying before we started recording.
Let's start there. Let's
All
start with
right, so,
Justin Turner.
so Justin Turner just had some comments about Rob Manfred's presser yesterday, which, by the way, he didn't. They not let me not just blame Manfred, even though he is the commissioner of baseball. They didn't even air it on MLB Network. So let's just start it off with that. Um, this is what he had to say, and this is the quote that just killed me. Fucking beautiful. For him, Rob Manfred, to devalue it the way he did yesterday just tells me how out of touch he is with the players in this game. At this point, the only thing devaluing that trophy is that it says commissioner on it. These players are going in on Rob Manfred, and deservedly so, because that presser yesterday was a joke.
Yeah.
He went out there and basically said that there has been no precedent for him to vacate that championship. That he wanted to leave it up to the fans. That baseball knew about rumors about buzzers before it became public, which goes to tell you they clearly fucking use buzzers and he just fucking hit it, because why would you even say some shit like that?
Yeah.
Um, and they just keep putting the shit on Carlos Beltran, on Alex Cora, and on the players, as if fucking AJ Hinch is some little bitch standing in the corner and does nothing. Like, what do you even pay a fucking manager for then? And I don't know, man. This whole thing is just insane. It's never ending. I was kind of done with it, but now after Manfred's press conference, he's just like, this is the gift that keeps on giving in baseball. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, and I feel like we're gonna be so tired of talking about it by the time that the season actually starts that I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm happy that people are speaking out about it and that Manfred can't silence everyone on the subject. Like I gotta be honest, man. Like I also kind of feel like since we don't know all the facts, Carlos Correa even though what he said was stupid about Altuve not being involved, even though he clearly was involved, um, I kind of I kind of understand why Carlos Correa is lashing out at all these other players because at the end of the day, we don't know all the facts. We're never gonna know all the facts. But I do think there was something to cheating in 2019, and because they were granted immunity, I feel like they think that they can pretty much say anything at this point and nothing's gonna happen to them. But I have a feeling that you know we still haven't seen the last of 2019, that whole season with the buzzers and
Hell no.
everything. He's playing it off like it's ridiculous that they even said that. He made a comment about Jose Altuve having a tattoo that he didn't want shown, which is stupid because if that's even true, like we would have heard something about that the days after or during. Like, why couldn't Altuve say that instead of saying that his wife doesn't like him to take his shirt off? He could have easily said, "I have a tattoo that I don't want to show."
Right.
Literally right after the game, when I forget who it was, asked him, what was that about? You not wanting to take your jersey off, and he, instead of saying, "I have a tattoo that I don't want revealed that looks disgusting," he said, "Oh yeah, I'm just a shy guy, and my wife doesn't like me to take my shirt off or whatever." So but I kind of understand why he's trying to defend his teammates. Again, I think he's overplaying his hand because they were granted immunity.
Hmm.
Just it's just a mess right now, man.
And they keep coming back to the commissioner's report. Every time they answer the question, they say, "Well, the commissioner's report didn't find anything. The commissioner's report, the commissioner's report." We're not talking about the commissioner's report anymore. We know that you cheated in 2017. And you know, Chris Bryant said it yesterday. He said if they cheated in 2017, and nobody stopped them, they continued doing it in 2018, they continued doing it in 2019. I agree with that 100%. Um, and you know, I just we're not stupid. It was like that answer that AJ Hinch gave in that interview last week when he was asked, "Were your players using buzzers?" by Tom Verducci, and he came out and said the commissioner investigated it. The commissioner didn't find anything, and I believe them. I believe the commissioner. No, what happened in your clubhouse? You didn't say yes or no.
Yep.
And that's the same thing with Carlos Correa. That's the same thing with Jose Altuve and everybody in that clubhouse. Nobody's saying, no, we did not use buzzers. They're all saying the commissioner did a thorough investigation and found nothing. That doesn't mean shit because by the time the commissioner started his investigation, the season was over. You had all the time in the world to clean up all your bullshit and all that. You cheated. You can't tell me otherwise. I don't give a fuck. Even Jose Altuve, when people start like I'm seeing a whole bunch of people try to defend him on Twitter. Oh, he got the least amount of bangs out of all the players. He didn't cheat. He didn't want the trash bangs. At this point, you lost all credibility because not having a trash bang just means that you got that the fastball was coming. So I could just argue that Jose Altuve was just sitting back fastball or whatever the entire bat or something. I don't know. I don't buy it. I lost all respect for that team, for that organization, and I think that if somebody doesn't tell the members of the Astros to just shut the fuck up at this point, just don't talk. And Rob Manfred that if he's not going to handle this shit the right way, like a true commissioner should handle it, that they should just stop talking about this because it's getting to the point now where players are turning against each other. And I don't think I've ever seen that before, not even during the steroid era. And I think it was Phil Hughes tweeted out, has anybody considered a work stoppage over this, saying we're not going to work, we're not going to play baseball until you vacate that championship. And if people keep talking shit and keep not owning up to their shit, or at least just saying yes or no, we use buzzers or whatever, I could see some shit like that happening. And it's getting ugly.
Yeah.
But I wrote a piece yesterday on Call to the Pen about why this is must see TV.
Yeah.
And it is. It's good for baseball. People are going to start watching baseball now because they're going to want to see what the retaliation is going to be toward the Houston Astros. And they're going to see, are the Houston Astros legitimate? Are they a really good team or not? And I just hope that it doesn't come to a point where players say, fuck this. Like, I'm not playing until their fucking championship is taken away.
Nah, it's crazy. Like I was thinking in my head because I've this is all. It's crazy how in the time of football's over now, but while football was going on and with the NBA, because I barely watched the NBA this season, but from what I've read and the highlights that I've seen, this has to be one of the better NBA seasons in a while.
Yeah.
The fact that LeBron is number one in the West, and you got a team like the Bucks in the East that are dominating and everything, and you got Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers in the West as well. So it's an exciting time for basketball, but just the fact that baseball is getting talked about during
Yeah.
this time and spring training hasn't even started yet just goes to show that it's sad. Like on one side of the coin, it's going to be the most exciting baseball that we've seen in a while in terms of like tuning in and seeing the Astros play away and everything. But on the other side, it's like it's also the worst thing that's ever happened in baseball. At least
Yeah.
that I think it's probably ever gonna happen. I don't think we're ever gonna see anyone try to. I mean, it's just crazy to think that they actually thought that they were gonna get away with this. And I overheard something on the radio this morning how Joe Torre got Alex Cora and Hinch with the Red Sox and the Astros, like the main people in the clubhouse, together prior to the 2018 playoffs and told them that whatever you're doing needs to stop because eventually some of these players are going to get traded away or leave and they're going to expose you guys. That's exactly what happened
Mm-hmm.
with Mike Fiers. But even before that, for them to go out and just all these people be involved, I think this is why it's the biggest scandal that we're ever gonna see in sports because so many people are complicit. Like so many people were involved. So many people are trying to cover it up. Nobody wants to talk about 2019. Everyone's just kind of dancing around the issue.
Yep.
But again, because of this, I guess the only silver lining is that you're gonna attract millions of views on these games. Otherwise, that who knows? Like I could see myself watching an Astros versus, I don't know. I can't think of a bad Astros game this year. You know,
No.
and it's a ripple effect that even goes into the future. Like, what's gonna happen when Carlos Correa doesn't re-sign with the Astros, which he might not,
Hmm.
because what if he never bounces back from this? And they're already trying to pay Springer
Hmm.
probably. Altuve got paid. Bregman looks like he would get the better deal out of him and Correa, since Bregman's been like top 3 in MVP voting, I think like 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So what happens if one of these guys doesn't re-sign with the Astros and gets traded? That might be the time where we finally see like a different side of the whole Astros thing. But it's just crazy, man. And does Rob Manfred get any credit for not banning these guys
No.
next
Hell
season?
no.
You don't think he gets any credit? The fact that I mean, I don't think any kind of punishment would have been enough
I think
for.
vacating the World Series would have been. That's it.
Yeah, I think maybe vacating the World Series would have been somewhat okay, but what I mean is, like, you'll get banned from baseball 80 games for a banned substance. None of these guys got banned for anything. I guess
For nothing.
they were granted immunity. I get it. So does he get any credit that we're about to witness like the best exciting baseball that we have since probably like
I think
after.
if if he's had a history of making strategic moves like this to benefit the game, then fine. But he doesn't. If anything, he's had a history of incompetence, of handling situations in the worst way possible. You know, biogenesis. A Rod gets thrown under the bus for biogenesis all the time, and he deserves to. But the other half of that story was Rob Manfred and how he handled that situation too, paying crooks in cash in diners under the table for information and withholding that from authorities and shit like that. That was Rob Manfred. That was his people doing that shit. Um, so I think this is him being a fucking moron and not. He works for the 30 billionaires that own each MLB team. So he only has to answer to them. And so long as he keeps this shit on the wraps, they don't give a fuck. So long as he keeps securing deals with, I don't know what the latest deal was. I think it was with Disney or whatever the fuck. These $1 billion deals that keeps giving these people money after money after money after money. He's going to continue being commissioner. But we have a say in that as fans. We have a say in that. And I tweeted about this yesterday. Everybody has to make like John Boy now and go back and watch video and try to find any evidence of any buzzers and put that shit out there, because what triggered this investigation was John Boy's video, in my opinion. There was hard evidence out there. Everybody saw it. There was no way to deny it. He had to do something about it.
Yeah.
So people are gonna have to be super vigilant and looking for shit now. And B, um, players are gonna have to, I don't know.
Yeah, but
He's already saying that if you retaliate, if you throw it at an Astros hitter, that you're gonna get suspended. So you're not even giving people a chance to fucking, respond in any way, shape, or form.
yeah, but you know what? I was thinking about that. Like, is it the same? They cheated the game. Nobody got hurt. Like in terms of like physically, the fact that you had like Derek Jeter lost a lot of time that one season when he got pegged in the wrist. I forget who was it Pedro that pegged him?
Pedro,
Wow.
the GOAT.
Shit like that is I don't want to see that. If there was a way that we can guarantee that everyone comes out of this healthy, then okay, I'd go for it. But you can't guarantee that when you're plucking guys and plunking guys in the on the back with 95-mile-per-hour fastballs,
Yeah.
probably 100-mile-per-hour fastballs. Now these guys are really trying to headhunt. Probably some of these guys. I don't think that I kind of have to agree with the fact that he does want to put an end to that quick. Um, it's again, it's like it's not as easy just to say that, oh, he sucks for trying to limit players from retaliating. I don't think retaliating is like the best thing. I think the best thing would be to try to beat the Astros and every chance you get. I think every team that plays the Astros is gonna give it their 100%. Even teams that are tanking are gonna try to give it their 100% of the Astros. So I don't know, man. I kind of have to agree with the whole like not letting players retaliate. At least not
Okay.
letting them go as far as like getting away with every single retaliation. I think maybe plunk one guy, plunk the main guy, Altuve, once in the game, and they get a warning, and that's it. I don't know, man.
That's it.
I don't know.
Crazy.
It's kind of
And
it's
then and then that apology was what started this all off because the results of the investigation came out. He handed out his punishments. Everybody was unhappy with it, but at the same time, we kind of just accepted it. Okay, Lunau and AJ Hinch are suspended for a year. They got fired. Alex Cora ended up getting they mutually agreed to part ways or whatever. The $5 million fine. Everybody was like, that's a bullshit punishment, but whatever. It is what it is. Then we're waiting for this apology, and when it finally comes, it was insulting. Jim Crane sits up there and pretty much says that it had no impact on the game.
mm-hmm.
And then you have Bregman and Altuve give you a combined minute tops of an apology. And then you go into the clubhouse and you hear some heartfelt stuff, but you hear bullshit too. And you don't hear anybody addressing 2019. And I think that's what lit everybody on fire again, is that Manfred didn't hold these people accountable. And now they feel emboldened and they feel like they got away with it. And they did. They got away with saying that they're champions. Altuve got away with his raise. Good for him. And, you know, what are you going to do? And now these guys don't shut the fuck up. Manfred comes back out and starts talking again. And it's just like, fuck, man. Like, just at some point, we just have to stop. You know what I mean? Just, if I was Jim Crane at this point, I'd say to my players, if you're asked questions about the cheating scandal or whatever, your answer should be something to the effect of, we've addressed that in the past. We want to look forward now, talk about the game or whatever, and just move on from it. Don't talk about it anymore because you're just digging a bigger hole for yourself.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at before. Like Carlos Correa, like I understand why you're upset because people are completely, and they have the right to. They're completely like going against any idea that you guys did anything. Like, all right, I get why Carlos Correa is upset and why he's trying to defend his teammates because they're teammates, and he's probably super upset at the fact that they're not giving them any breathing room. It's that they cheated. Period. There's nothing that they can take away from that season other than that they cheated. But at the same time, Carlos Correa, you got to shut the fuck up because you got to understand that you guys did cheat. You got away with it until this whole John Boy thing happened. Like you said, the whole investigation. And the way that he's complaining, it just makes it seem like shut up, you guys don't know all the facts. Like it's our word over your word, and we're the only ones that really know. It's like, but how's that fair? You know, like,
right.
And to be honest, man, I'll say this again. I kind of figured out what kind of guy Carlos Correa was when he proposed to his wife for the 2017 World Series. And I'll say it again, that guy, I could tell what type of character he is. The way that he's complaining about it just fits into that narrative. I don't think we've heard the last of Carlos Correa. He'll probably be the first one to retaliate if one of his teammates get plunked or if he gets plunked. And I'm pretty sure that guys like Altuve and Bregman are telling him to just shut the fuck up. Like, we don't need you speaking on our behalf. We'll take it. We'll take all the lumps. Like, we're gonna this season is gonna be hell. The best thing we could do is just go out there and play. Which I actually kind of hope the Astros compete, man. I don't want to just give into the fact that they were all stealing signs or nothing, you know? Like, I want to believe that those guys are as talented as I thought they were on some level. Maybe they don't win the World Series, but they win the division. Yeah. That'll be enough for me to at least get over it.
Well, they lost their best pitcher in Garrett Cole, so they're going to take a little hit somewhere because their rotation's a little weaker.
Yeah.
So they're probably not going to be as good as they were last year. But yeah, for Carlos Correa at this point, instead of getting upset at what other people are saying, shut them up by stepping up on the field, staying healthy for a full season for once, and competing. And if you compete, then you can silence the noise at least a little bit because you can prove to the world we're not cheating anymore. And look, we're still good. We're still competitive. We're still one of the best teams in the game. That's the way you shut people up. Not by doing these pressers with Ken Rosenthal and you know, addressing Cody Bellinger's comments. Cody Bellinger has every right to be upset.
Yep.
Because that 2017 Los Angeles Dodgers team lost the World Series because you cheated, probably. So you probably wouldn't have even been in the World Series had you not cheated. So you have no right to. I mean, you have the. I can't. That's not. It's not my place to tell somebody they don't have a right to speak. You have a right to say whatever you want, but it's almost like read the room, dude. Like
Yeah.
nobody's fucking. Nobody's feeling sorry for you right now.
Yep. And also, speaking of pitchers, Justin Verlander, I lost respect for Justin Verlander through all this because I'll never forget his criticism of steroid users.
Robinson
And
Cano specifically.
Robinson Cano and his own teammate. Who was it again?
Um,
Not Robinson Cano.
I know
Not
who you're talking about.
Yeah.
In Detroit, right?
Castellanos.
I know that he got into a fight with Castellanos in the dugout before he got traded to Houston.
The point is that Justin Verlander super vocal about other things involving cheating, and not just that. Kate Upton, his wife, has gone on Twitter defending Justin Verlander when all these sign stealing things came out. I remember, and now he's nowhere. He doesn't have anything to say. Like he's completely shut about the whole thing, and I feel like that's such a bitch move that if he had some balls, he would say something. Unless he's complicit as well, unless he has his own version of cheating that nobody has found out about yet. We remember how Trevor Bauer was accusing the Astros pitching of doing something illegal. Nothing about this has been involved with Astros pitching. It's been all about sign stealing in the 2017 season. So I don't know, man. I kind of lost respect for Justin Verlander. I still think he's a great pitcher, but he kind of fits into the whole steroid mold if you think about it. The older he gets, the better he's looking.
The better he gets.
Still throwing in the high 90s, still pitching complete games. Just
imagine
coming off a Cy Young season. Basically, he was on par with Garrett Cole, maybe not in strikeouts, because Garrett Cole struck out I think 20 more batters than he did. But he was on par with the best pitcher in baseball, and he's way older. So
can you imagine?
Kind of fits into the steroid mode. Yeah, man. Hey, I remember when Ryan Braun got caught, and he said that it was the what was it? The sampler, the guy that was taking the sample, the urine samples that fucked up. He wasn't above lying for his betterment. So I don't know, man. But I'm just all over the place. Again, about this being the most exciting. I remember when A-Rod came back and he hit that home run off Ryan Dempster in Fenway when he came back after that whole scandal thing, the biogenesis stuff.
Yeah.
And that was exciting as hell. So the way I see it is that this is bigger than that, and it's a whole team, a whole organization that everyone's going to come down on. So I don't know, man.
I'm with you, man. And then sticking with sign stealing, the Boston Red Sox situation hasn't been resolved yet.
Nope.
I don't know. It was 2 weeks ago. Bob Nightingale said that the announcement was going to come out, or was it last week? And they named Roenicke the interim manager. First they said that it wasn't going to be a big deal. Now Rob Manfred is saying that it's going to take a little bit longer to investigate. If this isn't a big deal case, then why is it taking so long?
Exactly,
is he overthinking it now because he fucked up the Astro situation so badly, or is this bigger than we think it is? I don't know, man.
Why do I have a feeling that we're gonna get all the facts about the Red Sox, right? The punishment is gonna be probably just as harsh as the Astros, but it's not anywhere near the same thing.
Right.
All I want is to be okay with the 2018 championship. If it turns out that all they were doing was reviewing signs in the room, but they weren't relaying it like the Astros were, then you can't tell me that was a World Series that was won on cheating, because they might have gone against the rules that are being placed where you shouldn't use technology for stuff like that. But if we weren't relaying the signs in real time, to me that's the whole key of why the Astros thing is huge. Because they were relaying the signs in real time, which falls under the whole buzzer thing again. So if it's not that, I'm gonna need everybody to apologize about the Red Sox. I keep seeing everybody throwing around the 2018 championship in the same breath as the 2017. That's completely different. So
it has to be equal to the trash can banging thing or worse in order for anybody to diminish that 2018 World Series. It's going to have to be something to that. It's going to have to be a buzzer, or something hidden somewhere. I don't know. Maybe there's somebody relaying signs in center field, or it's gonna have to be trash can bangs or worse. And I don't think it is, because I think at this point we would have seen it or heard it.
Yeah.
Somebody would have uncovered it.
The same way that we have audio for the Astros with the trash can banging, I feel
Right.
like we would have seen something already. So I think they're innocent, man.
I'm not gonna go that far. I don't know.
I also,
And this is the thing too. There's a lot of people are overlooking this in our criticism of the Houston Astros. We have to criticize baseball too, because they knew about this.
mhm.
It came out that several teams reported this to the commissioner's office, and nothing was done, um, aside from them thwarting the trash can bangs, because it stopped happening after 2017. But in a lot of ways, baseball allowed this to continue. You know what I'm saying? So they have to catch some criticism too. And that's part of the reason why I think Rob Manfred is a fucking joke, is because in many ways he allowed this to continue. Had he operated with a heavy hand from the get go, this shit probably would have never escalated to the point that it is now. So
Yeah, but you know what though? I've been thinking, right? We hear 2017 happened, 2018 passed by, 2019 finished, and it was after that the article came out and we found out about all this stuff, right?
right,
And then John Boy went on and found evidence. He found it from games in 2017 about trash can banging and all that stuff, right? The fact that nobody else in MLB, or these billion-dollar corporations, other teams complaining about it, MLB didn't do anything, I find that hard to believe. Like, I find it hard to believe that the Yankees tried to get them exposed or tried to get MLB to do something about it, and they couldn't do it. Because if if a if a guy like John Boy found evidence from 2 years ago, you're telling me that these experts that actually review tape, or Farquhar that actually pitched in the game and figured it out himself, couldn't use that type of audio? Like, this goes back to when I was talking shit about Mike Fiers, which if all these teams tried to do something and didn't get it done, then I kind of take part of what I said back. But again, not a nobody, John Boy found audio of them red-handed doing this.
mm-hmm.
It's either two things for me. Either they suck at their job, or they're guilty of something too. They're guilty of using something to gain the advantage, and everybody's talking shit now because it can't get worse than the Astros. Maybe it wasn't as bad as the Astros, so it'll never be that type of blowback. But they're all coming out 2 years later saying like, oh yeah, we did try to change up our signs. We did try to do this. We did try to get MLB to do something. They weren't about it. The fact that all that is coming out now makes me think that they're guilty of something back then, or still guilty of something, and they're only pushing the right buttons, trying not to get exposed. I don't know, man. I refuse to believe that all these MLB teams couldn't get them, MLB to do something in
Right.
2017. I don't believe it, man. I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday.
You weren't?
Nope.
Oh well. Crazy, man.
I gotta think that something else, other teams are guilty of something. That's just my opinion. I don't know, man.
Well, yeah, I think that's part of it too. I mean, nobody heard about the Yankees. What was the Yankees, Astros, and Red Sox were fined in 2017 for using the replay room or whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody heard about that until now. You know what I'm saying? And it happened. But again, in looking at that, baseball has to take some responsibility too, because if you put a room with a live feed of a game within steps of the dugout, you better believe players are going to go into that room and look at the fucking live feed and see what the fuck the pitcher's throwing. And then your answer to that is to hire a monitor to sit there and be like a security guard for the replay room. No, man. If you're gonna implement replay in baseball, then make it a human error type thing. Like, there's no watching video, or you have to call upstairs for that shit or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, but they don't handle, like, I don't know. Baseball still needs to like get with the times or something. Like, we're still behind a lot of the other sports and shit. And I think that that's part of what this problem is technology and baseball don't mesh very well. You know what I mean?
And I heard now that's there's restrictions on it now, right? Like they're not going to be able to use the replay room to.
Now I think they have like 20 seconds now or something. But why? Don't give 20 seconds. Don't
No.
even have the replay room in the fucking near the dugout.
No, but I heard that they're not even going to be allowed to like review their swings after an at bat.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I hope that is the case. I don't think. I mean, I don't know, man. What's the difference between though? Honestly, what's the difference between someone in the area streaming the game through their phone and relaying the signs that way? Not relaying the signs, but at least getting the signs, so that when someone gets on second, which is what I think that has to be what the Red Sox thing is, that they got the sign with the replays, but they only were able to relay the signs when
somebody got on
someone was
second.
on second, the old fashioned way, right? So what's to stop somebody from me sitting at home to watch the game on Yes Network, right, and call up
Right.
Aaron Boone and be like, hey, by the way, like I noticed that he put down the wiggly fingers for a changeup. That's what the sign is when there's nobody on base. Like it's the same thing. So
Right.
I don't think that's ever gonna end. I think teams are still gonna be grabbing signs through technology, for the rest of history. Like I don't think that's ever gonna
Agreed.
change.
I think the only other option is to delay the feed more so that you can't relay it in real time if you're looking at somebody's feed. But that doesn't prevent sign stealing from second base. And I guess you're never going to prevent that because
That's part of the game.
that's part of the game. That's if somebody's stealing your signs from second base, it's almost on you, I feel like, at that point. So I think we've beaten this down enough. I hope that this shit dies down at some point because I'm certainly sick and tired of it. I just want to see what's going to happen. Spring training games kick off this weekend. I don't know if there would be some sort of retaliation in spring training, but there might be. You never know.
Probably not, man, because these guys are trying to. The guys that we're gonna see for the most part are fighting for a spot on the roster. Guys like, let's say Chris Sale gets on the mound. He's not gonna try to retaliate in his spring training time. He's
Right.
probably just gonna try to get some work in. That's kind of a bad example. That he would try to get some work in. I mean, he's coming off an injury. But anybody, I don't see retaliation in spring training, man. Honestly.
Yep. And not to toot my own horn or whatever, but I found a story about a year ago about the Astros pitching, and I'm kind of curious to see where that goes. I started doing some research to see if because the story that I uncovered was a lawsuit that was put out by a former MLB pitcher named Neiman Nix. He sued the Houston Astros and Jeff Luhnow specifically for stealing a method that he came up with, which is supposed to prevent pitchers from getting injured while combating home run hitting or power hitting in baseball. And we saw after that lawsuit that the Astros pitching stats got astronomically better. Now, I don't know if it's because of the Nix method or not, but I started to look up the injuries, the Tommy John. There's a database out there where you can see how many pitchers have Tommy John surgery. And I was curious to see if the Astros have the fewest amount of Tommy John surgeries of any team in baseball, then you have to be suspicious about something. They don't. They're not the ones with the fewest Tommy John surgeries. It's the Baltimore Orioles. So I don't know what they're doing with their pitching. Trevor Bauer has accused them of something. I don't know if it's a foreign substance or using something to help their mechanics or whatever.
Yeah.
I hope that nothing comes of it, but at this point you have to scrutinize everything Astros because clearly they were willing to get down and dirty to win games, and I just hope that nothing comes out of that. But
yeah, man. Again, the fact that they thought like I can't get over the fact like cool, smart enough to come up with the method, but dumb enough to think that everyone was going to keep their mouth shut about this.
yeah,
You know,
well,
like-
think about how many players. Someone like Cameron Maybin was on that team briefly, and he played for the Yankees last year. So wouldn't they suspect But maybe that's why they stopped trash banging after 2017 and changed it up, did something else. I
all
don't know, man.
all the more reason to believe that there is an additional like all the more reason to believe that there is something to the buzzer story with the buzzers as an option. Let's say now a guy like Altuve and Bregman can steal signs and get them relayed without other players knowing.
Right.
It's like the best of both worlds. Like now I'm only complicit. Now I'm the only one responsible for this. You
Right.
know. I just want to say real quick. I think we mentioned this already. The fact that people were defending AJ Hinch like on Twitter, like I think I saw John Heyman say something
Oh my God,
where
man.
he said good on AJ Hinch, even though he's not the one that was like initiating all this stuff. I'm like, bro, everyone in that dugout is guilty. Even Brian McCann. You
Tom
know?
Verducci. Tom Verducci, when he was on the mic, he was on the Michael K show last week after the interview. And I was like, is this guy fucking, are you that gullible that you believe that AJ Hinch took a fucking bat to the monitor 2 times
I
and that his team went against him and put the monitors back up and he kept his job for 2 more years?
yeah,
I
like
do not buy that shit for 1 minute. And
I'm
I think
telling you.
it's clear, and I've kind of touched on this a little bit earlier in this episode. I think it's clear that they're making Carlos Beltran and Alex Cora the scapegoats because they're no longer a part of the Houston Astros organization.
Yep.
They're not there anymore, so you don't have to defend them. But you're gonna defend AJ Hinch because he's your coach and he's your manager and he's there. So they're trying to save this guy by making him look like, oh, he had nothing to do with this bullshit. You're the manager of the team. You knew exactly what was happening and you did nothing about it.
Yep.
Brian McCann, because he tried to stop Carlos Beltran and all this bullshit. I don't buy that. I don't buy it for 1 fucking minute.
Yep.
I don't buy it. I don't think Beltran and Cora were the masterminds behind this shit. I don't think it was player led. That report came out in the Wall Street Journal about the dark arts, that spreadsheet that the Houston Astros started putting together in 2016 under Jeff Luhnow, and it involved sign stealing, right? So clearly that's when this whole shit all started. It's from the top down. The fish rots from the top, from the head, or whatever the fuck that quote is. And fuck the Astros, man. I'm sick of that fucking team.
Yeah, to me, the higher up you are on the ladder, the more responsibility you have on the team, the more guilty you are of this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, fuck that. What else happened in sports, man? Like, I can't even.
I don't know, man.
I can't even
with
keep up.
with baseball, not much. I mean, spring training started. That's pretty much it. But in the NBA, we had the slam dunk contest on Saturday, which was
pretty good.
one of the best slam dunk contests I've seen in a long time.
You know,
Although AG, Aaron Gordon, aka Aaron Judge, was robbed of the trophy, man. He won that shit. Hands down, he won that shit.
I think he won that shit too, and I think that the NBA dunk contest, like, it has its moments where it's exciting as hell,
Yeah,
but the judging part of it,
it's
the
horrible.
commentators, they're always like, oh, let's go home. Let's go home. That's over. Like, I'm sick of it, man. They have a compilation of Magic Johnson, like 4 years in a row, 5 years in a row, saying literally the back-to-back years, saying like, the dunk contest is back. We're back, baby. Like, nobody tuned in last year, but we're back. No, like, I'm sick of all that shit. Get those judges. Like, why is Black Panther judging a dunk contest?
He should not. I don't know if you've seen pictures. People made it a meme already. He looks like he's sleeping as a judge. Like he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
You shouldn't like. I don't think that those things should have judges. Maybe they should do like let the 4 dunks happen. 4 players do their dunks. They choose their favorite in order, and maybe that guy advances. Because if we're going based off like crowd and how hard the dunk looked and everything, Aaron Gordon wins that competition hands down. Like.
Hands down.
Even in 2016, I'll admit that I think it was 2016, 2017 when he competed against he plays for the Bulls now. I forget his name, but that also an incredible dunker. That dunk contest to me was an amazing dunk contest as well. But they had to go into overtime and do like a dunk off again, and his last dunk didn't compare to the other the other dunkers' last dunk, but his dunks leading up to that to me were better. So I feel like he got robbed twice, but they got to stop with this giving 50s to like Dwight Howard's dunk with the whole Kobe thing.
Yeah.
What did that get?
I think he got a 49
That's
or 48.
insane. That's an,
I think that's the thing. They're too quick to drop a 10. I think you have to be a little harsher. You have to just be a little bit
just
more.
yeah, man. Like Dwight Howard's dunk, the one that I literally I tuned into the dunk contest. I started watching it late. All I saw was Dwight Howard's one dunk where he brought the Superman cape out, and yeah, he jumped from a far distance, but it was
And
such a
he's
whack.
34 years old too.
Whatever, man. If that's the case, then don't compete in the dunk contest. Like, don't make me give you credit because you're like at a certain age. Whatever. Like that dunk itself to me was no more than a 7, which means that it
Yeah,
shouldn't
no, I
have
agree.
been more than, let me see, 5 times 7, 35. Shouldn't
I
have been
agree.
more than 40. Shouldn't have been more than 40. But
Aaron Gordon, every single dunk was a 10.
yeah,
And I couldn't believe that the last dunk of the competition was the one that he scored the lowest in by far. I think he got 3 9s in that one. I think he
he
got like a
did.
47.
He did.
And it was way better than what's his face? Was it Jones?
Yeah.
Uh Way better than his dunk. Way better.
Yep.
And I don't know. I don't know. It was just it was what, but again, it's just a skills competition. He's done. He said now that he's gonna try to win the 3-point contest. That's never gonna happen. But whatever. And then the All-Star game yesterday, I'm not gonna lie. I started watching it, but I've been watching The Outsider on HBO. That shit is the fucking bomb. You gotta watch that shit. So I didn't finish the game, but from all I'm hearing on Twitter and everything, it was a really good All-Star game that this new format really worked out and made it entertaining. I don't know if you watched it, but
No, but I saw the final score came down to free throws, so I heard it was pretty exciting too, and I read that the players thought that it was a good change, even though they were skeptical at first. I didn't watch it. I forgot that it was even happening. I watched the show on Netflix too that I don't recommend.
what is it?
It's called What If.
Nah, I never watched it.
Don't watch it. It's
The Outsider on HBO, man. If you need my HBO Gold account, just holler at your boy. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
I just want to repeat. What If, recommended to me by a friend.
No.
She was like, this show's so good. Oh my god, it's about trust and love. And I'm like, oh okay, maybe I'll watch it. And the first episode kind of drew me in a little bit because there was some scandalous stuff going on, like behind the scenes. Someone was gonna get stabbed in the back, and then it just got cornier and cornier and predictable. And
Hold on. So, fuck what if? But earlier or last week, at some point last week, you told me you were watching Don't Fuck with Cats, and you didn't like it.
I I haven't gone back to finish it. So
Oh my god.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and I need to watch the last part of it, which I'll do eventually. But I got sucked into BoJack Horseman. You should watch that show. It's
You're hard to please, man.
no, I don't know, man. Don't fuck with cats really got dragged on for me, man. Like it just kept
Wow.
dragging on, dragging on. Like every time I see like them pull up to the screen of like the Facebook and someone typing in their password, I'm like, geez, could they just log on to Facebook? Have like have the saved like have your saved password? No, but
My
honestly,
god.
man, what if I didn't like that show? BoJack Horseman. I'm almost done with that show. BoJack
All right.
Horseman.
All right. And then we're completely off topic here, but I binged a podcast. I did that.
Okay.
It's called Root of Evil, and that shit is fucking nuts.
Hmm.
It's about the Black Dahlia, like in the 50s or whatever, but it's the current family are trying to figure out if their father was the serial killer, and it's insane. It's a really good podcast. I binged it. I listened to the whole fucking like 8 episodes
Wow.
while I was doing laundry. No life. Yeah, that's it. That's all that happened in the world of sports, man.
I know the Redskins released Josh Norman. I don't know if that does anything for you.
Who gives a fuck?
Hmm.
I don't give a fuck.
Guys, baseball is upon us, man.
Word.
And the weather it's good today.
This winter is insane, by the way.
I ain't complaining.
I'm not complaining either, but it's just not right. Something's not right.
Hey,
You get one day where it's cold as a motherfucker, and then you have a day like today. It's 50 degrees outside. It's sunny. Last week we had a couple 60-degree weather days. This is, and it rains every day, I feel like.
not here. I wouldn't say it rains every day here.
It's been raining a lot here.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Well, guys, we're back for the time being. We didn't record for a while because I didn't have any source to record
It's that,
on.
it's that man's fault. Are you over here or are you over here?
The other way.
It's this man's fault. This man's fault right here. That guy. Wait. That guy. Not me. Him. Him.
Yep. Yeah, man. Actually, you know what? The day that you were at my house and you tried to be funny and close my laptop, that was like the
I did
second.
it.
That was like the second to last straw. So after
Your
that,
mom did it after me, right?
no, yeah, maybe, but I finished it after that. Like I
Uh,
accidentally forgot and tried closing it, and it all started when a little baby cousin of mine got mad and tried to like close my screen, and he actually bent it a little bit. So that was the beginning of it.
should bring back spanking, man. Make spanking great again.
All
All right, man.
right, how do we end this?
Andrew Yang is out of the presidential race.
That's the guy I would have voted for too, man. So
I was starting to I was starting to feel it for Yang, for the Yang gang, and then he dropped out on me.
yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know what we're gonna do.
I wish Yang would come back, man.
Come back, Yang.
I'm married.
You're my boy, Yang. Peace.
Peace, man. We ended it right, like.
Yeah.